Right here tonight at 5 o'clock, over 40 patients moved out of the landmark of Bardstown Nursing Home early this morning as smoke filled one wing of the facility. It's our top story at 5. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. The chief of Bardstown Fire Department tells our Ian Hardwick the fire was out within 7 minutes and explains how and when it started.
The fire started around 6:30 this morning in this West Wing supply closet that's now boarded up. Although the fire did not spread to the rooms around it, smoke inhalation is the reason about 15 people needed to be taken to the hospital and evacuated out of this landmark of Bardstown building. In addition to those 15 residents, 2 police officers went to the hospital for inhalation. The officers were already released, says Bardstown Fire Chief Todd Spalding.
We believe that there was an electrical failure within that unit that caused the fire. That was a storage closet, and there was some combustibles within that compartment. We do have some concerns with these units, being that this has been the second time.
This picture from Bardstown Fire shows the HVAC unit the chief was talking about. It's right there below the window. Each room at the facility has its own. A different one caught fire last June, according to Chief Spalding. And although he credits the nurses on staff with pulling patients out safely as the fire spread, Spalding shared concern over Landmark's aging facility.
The sprinkler system in the fire room did not operate like it was supposed to.
In the townhomes near the fire,
yeah, I'm just glad everybody got out okay and there wasn't no real serious injuries.
Neighbors Randy Skaggs and Marie Greenwell saw school buses move some Landmark residents to a sister facility in Louisville.
That was the trick.
The fire department added that 38 residents were moved. In Bardstown, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11, on your side.
Also happening today in West Louisville, this is around 45th and Market. Louisville Metro Police say a man who was the focus of a standoff situation is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It all started just before 9 this morning when a woman in the Shawnee neighborhood called Metro Police.
She reported to us that she had been assaulted. As the officers approached the house in the 4300 block where the suspect was, as they got up to the house, they heard a shot being fired. So they backed out and contained the area.
Metro Police actually flew a drone inside the home, and that's where they discovered the body of the man. After police got a warrant, they found his body inside that house through that drone video. Police say there was never a threat to the public or the school, which is 3 blocks away. The former Letcher County, Kentucky sheriff charged with the murder of a local judge in his own chambers is expected to use the insanity defense in the upcoming trial. Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins is accused of shooting District Judge Kevin Mullins inside his courthouse office in eastern Kentucky on September 19th of last year. Court documents filed in the last week reveal his defense team will include an expert witness relating to mental health, showing Steins was experiencing an extreme emotional disturbance when he pulled the trigger on his friend, shooting him several times. The entire confrontation captured on surveillance video from courthouse cameras. A trial date has not yet been set.
A JCBS teacher is recovering after being struck by a car outside Barrett Middle School this morning. The district said a science class was engaged in a hands-on learning experience outside when a ball rolled right into the street. The teacher went to get it when a car hit her in the crosswalk. She was taken to the hospital, conscious and talking, but as you can imagine, some of her students were shaken by the event. Well, school counselors are on site for anyone who needs them this week.
You felt the winds. They're up all across Kentuckiana as we're showing you from our live camera. The one big thing about these winds, warm air all over the area, but that's going to change in probably a matter of a day or two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tonight, right, Ben?
Yeah, about 24 hours. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have a snow chance after our rain chance a little bit later on tonight. A crazy and very large storm system here, very powerful as well. It stretches all the way from the Gulf Coast up to Canada, out into the Great Plains, starting to move into western Kentucky as well. We'll start to get some of these rain showers up to Louisville, I-65 by around 7 p.m. and then over spreading our area a little bit later than that. So there you can see 7 o'clock and then right around midnight. Midnight, some more organized gusty rain showers moving through with potential of 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We have a wind advisory now all the way through 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. We'll get a little break early Wednesday, but then a little bit later in the morning, some more rain showers develop. Warmest tomorrow morning in the 50s, and then that cold air drops in on the backside of the system, giving us that changeover to some snow showers tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Maybe a few slick spots to watch out for and some reduced visibility with some of that snow late tomorrow. Those winds are blowing out there and picking up here hour by hour. Now a wind gust at 35 miles per hour. That's up from 25 last hour, and it is a warm breeze. Those temperatures near 70 degrees, all 60s though throughout Kentucky and Indiana right now. Some of the wind gusts again increasing throughout the area. Wind gust also around 30 miles per hour in Hardinsburg. So we have a lot to cover with this big and dynamic storm system over the next couple of days. And of course, we'll look at the rest of the work week and weekend coming up.
Thank you very much, Ben. More on a story that we first told you on the night team at 11 last night. Federal investigators say the deadly Jiviton explosion in the Clifton neighborhood should not have happened, pointing to a mechanical failure that led to that major blast.
The U.S. Chemical Safety and Hazard Investigation Board released its preliminary report on the tragedy that killed 2 factory workers and seriously hurt 3 others in November.
Isaiah Kim Martinez is breaking down this new report that just came out. Isaiah, for the first time, we're learning how the employees knew something was wrong and were actually scrambling to fix things.
Well, Doug, Connie, scrambling's the right word. According to the report, they tried everything, plan B, C, and D, but investigators say the temperature inside that food coloring tank was 30 degrees above the max, and the pressure was more than 3 times where it should have been.
This is where 2 employees were doing their best to stop the explosion, and they didn't make it out.
A new report details by the minute the desperate effort to avoid the Jiviton explosion that killed 2 factory workers and seriously hurt 3 others. Nearly 4 months later, the emotions are still raw for Clifton residents like Mike O'Leary.
You know, for their families, oh my gosh, it's just got to be heartbreaking. The employees were doing everything they were supposed to. It was the equipment that malfunctioned, which means it's management's problem.
According to the U.S. Chemical Safety Board's investigation, the employees were in the plant's control room, right near Tank 6, shown here in red, trying everything to reduce its temperature and pressure that far exceeded the max. Investigators finding the valves designed to relieve pressure failed in those final minutes. Here's an example of an open valve. Now here's the one on Tank 6. Investigators say almost fully closed after the explosion.
It looks to me like the vent didn't open, and that's what caused the pressure to keep building up.
Jim Waters, chemical engineering professor at U of L, breaking down the report.
The rupture disc did kick in, but either it didn't open completely or the pressure and temperature was just so high that the temperatures just kept on building.
The report showing pieces of the tank blown off and landing right by homes. Hannah and Dan Nitskin still traumatized by the blast.
That was all happening 300 feet from us while we were sitting quietly in our house working.
They blame the company for what the Chemical Safety Board says should not have happened.
They can't make everyone whole.
Right.
They can't.
The Nitskins, who have a young daughter, are still waiting for insurance to fix the cracks to the drywall and other damage to their home.
They just kind of broke off of their hinges, so they didn't break the windows. However, the window behind it, you can see, is just plastic now, and that all shattered inside our home.
Now, the city has already said Jiviton will not rebuild in Louisville or anywhere else in Kentucky, but as demolition continues, people question what will happen to that property, which Jiviton still owns. Now, the investigation continues and a final report is expected later on. Doug.
Thank you, Isaiah. Kentuckiana prosecutors have introduced a new cross-state prosecution effort designed to streamline legal procedures within their own districts. The collaboration would allow courts to operate without jurisdiction and extradition-related policies complicating things. Prosecutors say they hope the alliance will help prevent offenders from committing crimes in one state, then fleeing right to another.
Those committing crimes, as you know, don't have boundaries. And as they don't have any borders, they don't have any states. And as they travel, they are wreaking havoc in our communities. We also don't want anyone committing crimes in one state and being able to move and seek refuge in another.
This partnership includes Jefferson, Floyd, and Clark County courts in southern Indiana.
An effort to put an end to diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs on college campuses is one step closer to becoming law. Today, Kentucky's Committee on Post-Secondary Education heard arguments on House Bill 4, which aims to prohibit such programs across public universities. Representative Jennifer Decker sponsored that legislation. She fought back against claims that her bill would harm college campuses if signed into law.
Critics misread this bill as threatening student centers and threatening support for veterans, first generation, and low-income students, services that are explicitly and groups that are explicitly exempted from this bill. This bill solely ends unconstitutional discrimination based on race, sex, national origin, and religion.
The committee passed the bill, which now heads to the full Senate for a vote.
The people feel when they don't have fire protection, they don't have ambulances.
Right, and I have no changes.
Jeffersonville City Council continuing to talk about a new fire protection plan. Monday night, last night, was the first reading of this $30 million proposal, which seeks to create a fire territory between Jeffersonville and the town of Utica, Indiana. Right now, Jeffersonville Fire is covering Utica Township on a contract. Heartland EMS is also covering ambulance services. Council President Dustin White called this proposal an opportunity.
We will be serving Clark County residents through, as we've always done when called upon. We will assist Charlestown and Clarksville. Everybody wins on this. Yes, there will be some budget adjustments, but in the long run, we will have a better service, both fire prevention and fire protection.
To pay for the plan, the city would have to take local taxes away from some other Clark County municipalities. The council is set to vote on the proposal coming up on March 13th.